So take Superman and make him the main villain in a horror film. Hell yeah, I'm in for that.
I know there is good inside you.
Tori! You're safe now.
You
So Brightburn is in a superhero horror film, or I should really say it's a supervillain horror film, that stars Elizabeth Banks and David Denman as a couple that are trying to essentially make a baby together. However, one night when they're trying to start make love, an unknown object comes into essentially their backyard, and in that object they find a little baby who they take in as their own, and that baby grows up to be this special gifted kid. And it turns out this special gifted kid, who in this film is played by Jackson A. Dunn, doesn't have the best intentions. Alright guys, so let's get into Brightburn. Brightburn was a film that I was really interested in for a few reasons. Now, of course, one of the reasons why, shocking enough, is that it's a horror film. I always like me a good horror film. But another reason why I was really interested because it's James Gunn producing. He's not directing or writing, but producing. And James Gunn is one of the most gifted storytellers out there. But the main reason why I was interested in seeing Brightburn was because of the concept of essentially taking Superman's origin story and rather than making him a good guy, essentially turning him into a slasher movie villain. But man, I am so happy to say that Brightburn is such a fun and a bloody good time that actually has some good creepy stuff in it. Going into performances wise, the three main leads of this movie are so damn great. From Elizabeth Banks to David Denman, especially Jackson A. Dunn, all three of them are great in this film. But Elizabeth Banks really does such a good job of portraying a mother who is trying to keep that innocent image of her son and that mind, where really you could tell that he's starting to do some really dark stuff. He may be bullshitting me right now, but he's still my baby, but god damn it. There are two scenes in this film where you could tell that she's just thinking, you are just full of shit, aren't you? And not to mention her chemistry with David Denman as the father. They had great chemistry together, and I actually believed their romance. But for me, the show stealer of this film was Jackson A. Dunn as Brendan Meyer. I really hope this kid goes places because he gives such an eerie and a very creepy performance at times too. There are shots in this film in which when he turns around and looks at a certain character, you just think, oh crap, that person is screwed. And I'm not gonna lie to you guys, in one scene there was one particular moment from him that creeped me the hell out. I mean, oh my word. One of my other biggest praises about Brightburn was, of course, like I mentioned before, was one of the main reasons why I was excited for this film in the first place was its concept. I mean, who wouldn't want to make a superhero horror film, I mean, or I should say this again, a supervillain horror film that essentially takes the origin story of Clark Kent, Superman, or Kal-El and make him a supervillain that essentially makes Superman a slasher movie villain. The concept alone makes for a really fun, a very bloody, and a really cool supervillain movie. Not to mention a pretty gory supervillain horror film. Like, there was one particular scene in which the gory detail is insane, and one thing that blows me away when it comes to certain special effects about this movie is that I cannot believe I still found this out, but this film was only made for a budget of $6 million, I believe $6 to $7 million. How? I mean, seriously, when you guys see some certain gore effects, you'll just think, holy crap! And to that end, when it comes to gore, there are a lot of fun kills in this movie. I mean, one in particular, all I'm gonna do is this. I'm not gonna say any words, I'm just gonna do this. Yeah, I mean, that was fun. Now, one of the things that I absolutely loved about Brightburn was that there were a couple of moments of Brightburn in which there are certain steps this movie takes in which, I mean, this movie has balls at times. I mean, there were two moments in particular where I just thought, holy shit, this movie went there. Nice. And while there are a lot of dark moments, there was one scene that I'm not gonna lie to you guys, or a couple of scenes actually, that did have me laughing really hard. Some really good comedic moments in there as well. And the other thing is this, if they do happen to make more of films like this, I would be totally down to see more superhero or supervillain horror films just like this. Brightburn was a movie that I really wanted to love, but unfortunately, I didn't love Brightburn. I liked it a lot, but did I love it? No. One of my issues with Brightburn was that I feel like that they didn't utilize the concept of turning essentially Superman into a horror film to its full extent. Now, don't get me wrong, what we have here is still a hell of a time at the movies, but I feel like that had they had developed, especially the plotting characters a lot more, I feel like would have had actually something that would have been way more deep and way more gratifying. Could you imagine if they had just done a little bit more with the script? I mean, this could have been even better than it actually was. And to that end, one of my other complaints about this film was that the plot and the characterization were actually pretty rushed. In that first 20 minutes, it feels pretty rushed. I feel like if this movie had breathed out just a tad bit more in that setup, everything would have been way more gratifying and way more shocking by the end. Not to say that I wasn't satisfied with this movie, because I was, but I just feel like that if they had edited that first act in a different manner, it would have been a whole lot better. So overall, while Brightburn doesn't utilize its concept to its full potential, still, nonetheless, it is such a fun and bloody good time at the movies. Like, legitimately, I came out of this movie with such a big smile on my face, and if they do continue making more superhero horror films like this, I would love to see more. And there were times, like I mentioned before, that I did not expect this movie to have the balls that it did have. So all in all, I'm going to give Brightburn a 3.5 out of 5 stars. This movie, like I mentioned before, and I'm going to reiterate this movie is just so much damn fun. Guys, go see this movie. I feel like this one is going to just go under a lot of people's radar. Go check out a really fun superhero horror film, or should I just say supervillain horror film, and have a great time with this one. Alright guys, so comment out and let me know below. Have you guys seen Brightburn yet? What did you guys think? Did you guys either like it, hate it, or did you even love it? Let me know below. If you guys want to follow me on social media, I'm on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Twitch. I'm also on Snapchat and Stardust. So if you want to follow me on all those social media platforms, all the links and usernames are in the description below. I hope you guys enjoyed my review of Brightburn. If so, please hit that like button, share, and subscribe. Also, don't forget to hit that notification bell for whenever a new video of mine goes live. And if you all want to see any of my previous 2 reviews, please click either right there or there. And of course, until my next review or video, I will see you guys next time.